I'm Roy from Roy's Garage. Today I'm going to be working on a 2001 Toyota Camry LE 2.2 liter automatic. I'm going to show you how to replace the left inner and outer tie rods. These are the tools I'm going to be using today to do this job. Ball joint tie rod separator, pry bar, 1/2 inch ratchet, 1/2 inch extension, 12 inch Crescent, water pump plier, long nose plier, side cutters, 17mm wrench, 4-pound sledgehammer, a ball peen hammer, 3-pound sledgehammer, and my tool to remove and install the inner tie rod. These are the parts I'm going to be using today to do this job: an inner tie rod and an outer tie rod. Okay, so I have the wheel turned all the way to the right, so I'm going to be loosening up this lock nut. I'm going to be removing this cotter pin. Okay, so I'm going to be removing this nut. Okay, so I'm going to get my tie rod separator. I'm going to be putting it right in between. Don't worry about ruining the rubber boot because we're going to be replacing the outer tie rod. So I got a 4-pound sledgehammer. I'm going to be pounding it and it's going to separate. Okay, so I'm going to be unscrewing the outer tie rod. So we're going to count how many turns before it comes off. 15. So when I put the new tie rod on, I'm going to turn it 15 turns. Now we're going to remove this clamp. So we're going to be removing this nut. Okay, so the inner boot, there's a metal clamp. What you gotta do is kind of find where the crimp is, and with a pry bar you gotta kind of pound it, kind of bend it, open it up so you can pull the inner boot off the rack. Now I can pull the boot out. So this is where I'm hitting the clamp with my pry bar. So we're gonna be straightening out these locks. This is a flat washer that's bent over. I'm gonna be straightening it out with my pry bar. So I'm going to be installing my inner tie rod remover. So I'm going to be putting this adapter on. I'm going to be sliding my tool over. And locking it in place. Then I'm gonna unscrew it. remove it. Okay, before I put it on, this flat washer with these two tabs, that goes right into the slot of the rack and pinion. So once I screw it in, then right over here, these washers are going to bend it over. That's the lock so it doesn't unscrew. So just screw it in. And you got to line up the washer with the slot. Once you get it lined up, then just tighten it up. Okay, so there's some grease that comes with the inner joint. So just grease up this inner joint. Just load it up with the grease. So I'm going to be bending this tab over. You can bend either this side, or bend both. At least bend one side, the side that get the most access. So I'm going to be folding this this washer over. At least get it started. And I'm just going to fold it over. So I'm going to be sliding on the inner bellows boot. So later on, what I'm going to do is, instead of using a metal strap, I'm going to be using a plastic tie strap. Put the clamp on, put the nut on. Okay, put the tie rod, the outer tie rod on 15 turns. Okay, so put my tie rod on, tighten up the nut. So then you gotta line up the hole so this cotter pin can go through. Okay, so you're going to slide the inner boot over the rack and pinion. We're going to have to straighten out the wheel. Okay, so I slipped the inner boot over the rack and pinion. So I'm going to be using this plastic tie strap. Kind of like get it started. Then you got to go underneath and kind of pull it. So then we're going to be pulling this boot out to this groove. Putting on the clamp. Tightening up this nut. Now you can take it to the alignment shop. So that's how you replace an inner and outer tie rod end. Make sure you get an alignment. If you have any questions, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I see you in the next video. Aloha.